For years and years, many Minecrafters have dreamed awaiting this moment would come. Finally, it is here in the latest Bedrock beta. We have chests in boats. Look at them. They're finally here. We're going to be checking them out in this video. And if you turned up on my channel looking for a snapshot video because it's a Wednesday, well, unfortunately, they couldn't get it out today. However, stay tuned, there will be one tomorrow, so make sure you're subscribed over here so you can catch that snapshot video. So the latest Bedrock beta, aka Minecraft preview, is with us, and this actually introduces the Deep Dark biome into the game. Since I've covered these features extensively as of late in Java edition of the game, I'm going to refer you to these two videos on the Deep Dark. And if you're wondering what features are in this beta, it's essentially the same ones as what's in the current snapshot phase for 1.19. That means that the Warden isn't in this edition of the beta. And this update focuses on the chest in a boat, but it also brings some changes to the Allay, which seem to be directly related to the feedback that they've been getting from the community. This mob had some glaring flaws when it was first introduced, and some of those have been addressed already. The first of which is related to the Allay picking up a stack of items. Once it's got a stack inside of its inventory, it would then go to deposit it to the player or near a note block, and it would throw the first item out and then immediately return to pick up some items as it had less than a stack. And obviously this isn't particularly helpful. So now there is a delay to this activity. The Allay tends to wait about 10 to 15 seconds before it actually attempts to come and pick up more of the items. As you can see, it's just hovering around after putting a lot of them in there, and then after a little bit of time it makes its way back to pick up the rest. So that is one very welcome change, and I think you're really going to like the next one. And I think this change may have actually not been implemented. The Allay will now only pick up the exact same item it holds. Now that's already what it did, but not when it came to items with MBT tags like these books, which have sharpness 1. However, I've given the Allay there a protection 1 book, and yet it still picks up the sharpness enchantment. So maybe this applies to items that are in a tag list together. You can see that the Allay there has the black wall. Ah, that's the change then. Okay, so wall colours will be differentiated from one another. The next change is described as Allays will now stay close to a note block that has been played near it. Now that sounds a little vague, but I figured out what was going on here. In the priority order for behaviour, there is a new step that's been introduced between give to player and follow owner, and that is stay near note block. And I did a couple of tests over here where I'd have a note block activated and then I would deactivate it after a bit of time. And every single time after 30 seconds, the Allay would then lose interest in the note block and head straight over to me. So I really don't understand what this change is. And it comes with a description of start distance 10 and stop distance 2. Again, really not a clue what's going on here. It would be really nice if these changes were better communicated to us, but when looking through the JSON files for the Allay, I discovered a couple of other changes. Their pickup item search distance has been changed from 30 to 60, so they will now search 60 blocks around them for items to pick up. And their follow range was changed to a whopping 1024 blocks, pretty much meaning they will follow you wherever you are loaded. I have been spawning Allays in different places and then moving around as I record this video, and it seems like they're always able to find me eventually. And last of all, we had discussed how there was a fatal flaw with the Allay, that they would fly in front of the player while you're digging because they've been given the same blocks to pick up, and there's still the issue of them flying in front of your shovel, and that's stopping you from breaking the blocks, for example, but now you won't actually be able to damage the Allays accidentally. As you can see, I'm swinging my shovel at them, but the Allays are now immune from damage from their owners. So if I haven't given it an item, then I don't own it, and as you just saw, that means I can damage it. And that'll cause it to panic and then fly away. And that's all of the changes for the Allay. I think the one other thing we really need to see is like an item to lure them and a way to maybe just sort of lock them down somewhere and stop them flying all over the place. So now, my friends, it's time for the boat chests. Just like you saw in the beginning of the video, there is 6 of them. And that's because there were 6 different types of boat in the game already, and what you have to do is combine it with a chest. It doesn't work with a trap chest, just in case you're wondering, and this is a shapeless recipe, meaning that you can make it in any configuration. So not only can the player get in this boat, but other entities can too, and when you're inside of it, you can press E to open up your inventory, and as you can see, we've got a chest here and we can put things inside of it. And if you're not sitting in the boat, you can shift right click on it and see what's inside of the chest. If you then break the boat entity, it'll break apart like this. So you'll get the contents and the boat and the chest will be separated. Now the big deal about these is that they can interact with hoppers. So let's go ahead and go underneath this one, which will actually put us, the player, sort of inside the hopper. And if I click on it, you'll see that the items are draining out of the hopper, and you can guess where they're going. They're going into our chest. If I then head over in this direction to the side of this hopper, these will be able to drain. The distance is basically going inside of the block that's adjacent to it. And now you can see that those items are draining into our boat chest. And I set up one on the other side, but I don't know why. It's the exact same thing all over again. Now you'll also see that there are hoppers below us. So if we go and hover over here and press E, you can see that the items are getting drained out of the hopper. And so you can see how there could be a full block here and it would intersect with the boat. And an important point to note here is that it's the boat itself, not the chest. So if I open this up, you can see items are draining into it, even though the chest is clearly further away from the hopper. And although that's kind of quirky, I really don't think there's too much of a bother there. I think they should keep it that way. And you might be thinking, well, that's pretty much it. You know, we can get creative with these and come up with some cool contraptions for moving items around, unloading and loading automatically, but there is a little bit more to learn about these. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the most useful thing ever, but you gotta love this, okay? We've got a hopper and a chest down the bottom, and we can transfer items from the top, because these boats obviously interact with the water columns as well. So if we go up the top here and click on the chest, you'll see the items are getting drained out and they're actually going into the boat, which is making a lot of noise. And then when we want to bring the items back down, we just change that over and down they come. There's probably a way to do this in reverse as well so that you could send items upwards. And yes, it would probably be a little bit pointless to use the boat, but it's still fun to see. And you can of course encounter these when you're out and about in the ocean, and they won't break the boats. As you can see here, it will pull this one down, it will sit on top of the magma blocks, and this one will just stay up here on the surface making a lot of noise. And I don't think there's too much else to say. These boats are pushable by a piston, and that was something that I discovered when I was reading the game files. And inside the chest boat file, I found this simulate waves true, big wave probability, and big wave speed, but I've been unable to suss out what exactly this is. If you know, then please do let me know what it is with a comment down below. And a couple more things. There was a parity change for axes. When used on a shield, it will now disable the shield for 5 seconds. I've actually noticed there's a lot of parity changes being made lately, which is really good to see. So Bedrock and Java are coming a little closer together. And a little Minecraft preview news for you, with it being the path to Minecraft updates. That is now the block that's going to be on the logo for Minecraft preview. And here it is, in its full glory. That is the new logo for you. And that was a community suggestion, and a really good one, if you ask me. And anyways, if you've enjoyed the video, leave a like to support the channel, and I should see you tomorrow with a Snapshot video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.